everyone, it's Andre from Momentumwingchun. In this video I'd like to talk to you guys about a concept I very much enjoy. It's the concept of relativity. Okay, some of you might think this is a bit out there, but I think it is actually quite relevant to what we're doing in Wing Chun. The first thing I'd like to explain about is the concept of relativity, that everything is just relative to one another. So relative to this circle, right now this ball is moving around the circle. If I had them touching each other straight away, that would look kind of like this. The only reason we can see though that the ball is moving around this circle right now is because we have other points of reference that we can visually see that this is turning around in this direction. If I had no reference at all, if I was in a black room with no other light or anything, I wouldn't know if this is happening, where both are turning against each other, if this is happening, or if this is happening. Because this relative to this is always doing essentially the same thing, whether this one's moving around this object or this one's moving around that object, relative to each other, not relative to any other point of reference in space. This is happening. So everything in the universe is essentially in motion. Every atom, every molecule, every object, every planet, everything is moving. If I take this now into relation to our solar system, you have, for example, the sun in the center. So relative to the sun, you have the Earth, going this way, moving around the sun. But then you also have, for example, the moon, which relative to the Earth is moving around the Earth. And then you've got the two together, which are essentially relatively to the sun moving around the sun. I guess the moon's sort of doing a bit of a whirly-twirly circular rotation around the sun. But then, so relative to all the planets in our solar system, the sun isn't moving because it's the center of the motion. But then if you think the whole solar system is actually moving again, so the sun relative to other things is moving, etc. What I'm trying to get to, or the point that I really want to make with this, is that the why. Why does the sun move? Why does the Earth move around the sun, and the moon moves around the Earth? Well, it's quite obvious. It's mass. The sun has a lot more mass than the Earth, and the Earth has a lot more mass than the moon. So one can merely sort of draw a parallel. It's a little bit generalized, but the less mass you have, the more agitated you are. So the moon is moving more than the Earth, and the Earth is moving more than the sun. And the reason why that's happening is because they have less mass. So that's the analogy of the solar system. Now I'd like to bring that into context of Wing Chun again and bring it back to our bodies. Okay, so back to our bodies, taking that context of the sun, the Earth and the moon, and the whole idea that everything is in motion and everything is essentially agitated. Putting that into context of Wing Chun, if we're trying to maximize our mass, an easy way to maximize the mass of my body is to just relax more. So if Heath grabs my hand to stop me from doing a tanza, for example, if I'm tense, and usually tension in the body is also related to some kind of tension or an agitated mind, like I'm thinking too much, I'm trying too hard, I've got my mind set on something, whereas if I can actually just start to empty out my mind and relax more, so like Heath, hold hard, right now I'm agitated, relatively to Heath I'm more agitated than him, so that's why I'm now bouncing back. So Heath is relatively to me more relaxed, but if we can keep that pressure now relative to Heath, I start to relax more, eventually Heath will start moving back. So it's all just relativity. So you hold hard, I'm more agitated than Heath, so I start moving back. If I now just relax more than Heath, eventually Heath will start moving back. So the funny thing is, like our mass is probably more or less the same, but to take that now into the context of the relativity, if I can relax more, that gives me more mass available and gives me less tension that will make me bounce back. But then in the terms of like agitation and everything, if it's all in the mind, it means like if you can actually just have a more calmer, stiller mind, you suddenly become a bit like the person who's sitting down in the shopping centre while everything else is moving around really fast, and you're just observing things happening. And I think that sort of stillness of the mind is one of the things that we learn through practicing Silam Tao, and that's also, I think, part of the concept of idea power. It's just having that calm, still mind, and then relatively to you, everything else starts to become more agitated, which then gives you more power to be able to move opponents in a Wing Chun context. Okay, so yeah, as I said, it's a little bit of an out there topic, but I do think it's relevant for Wing Chun. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. And yeah, look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.